We're live. I think Jordan's trying to figure out a colour for us to put for our live. Some technical difficulties. We're still in the dark.
I like changing colour now. It's going to be rainbow.
It's fine. We can be multicolour.
Okay.
Hi guys, we're finally on. Jordan just had to finish his game.
Sorry.
So yeah, we're still in the dark and we are still in lockdown. Actually, the update would have just happened to see whether we're getting out of lockdown. Is anyone else here in lockdown? I was just talking to Victoria. She's from the UK. In the little chat section. I'm managing to keep my fluids up though, so that's something new. Hopefully your lockdown ends soon. I hope so too, but it sounds like, you know,
No decision yet.
You're running through it yourself with the sickness bug. I have 2 SEN children and sometimes there is nothing worse than being stuck in the same 4 walls. Yeah. So that's interesting that you say SEN children, because apparently over in the UK they call them SEN. Is it special education something? What do you know what SEN stands for? There's like 4 people here. Yay!
Which means you get more attention.
So I thought while we wait for everyone to turn up and ask us questions, feel free to ask us questions, chat along, make comments in the little chat section there. We had some like leftover questions from the other day when we did a Q&A, so I thought maybe we might start answering them. For the people that are watching back this video and don't want just nothing happening.
Special educational needs.
Okay. See, we don't use that in Australia. I've seen a lot of people from the UK use special SEN children. So, yeah. Okay, so let's go to this question. Actually,
Western Australia is not on lockdown. Lucky you.
that's awesome. That's really good. We weren't in lockdown until a week ago. We thought we'd miss it, but we didn't. Now it's like growing here. Where is my channel? Sorry, I'm just looking up the questions here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them our way.
Is that coming through your mic?
I forgot I plugged that in. Is it working really well? Can you guys let us know if it's going through the mic? I don't even know.
Should have checked that before. Because you probably got to change it. It might not be. It doesn't look like it is.
Okay. I use it mostly because of the diversity in my children's conditions. Oh, so like an overall, yeah. So you said you had 3 children. 2 children. Okay. What was the first 3 signs you saw in Jacob that made you question his development? Also, I'd like to say that he's come so far. Well, I think so too. Casey said they can hear us really good. Well, Jordan's just checking if he can hear us well. Hi everyone.
I don't like watching myself. I look like I got a stunned look on my face. Like, oh.
Start smiling.
Smile!
Yeah, I look like that too. Anyway, so the first 3 signs that we saw with Jacob. The number one was his lack of speaking. talking. So he did start to say a few words, but they were very late, and he wasn't up to like what the typical development was for talking. And I would say the other one was that he was like in his own world, like he was not giving us eye contact. He was like,
yeah, we didn't realize that at the time though. We didn't really think about the non-eye contact thing. We just thought that was being a baby, because me and Jess both hadn't been around a baby for a while. Like the youngest in my family, prior to Jacob, was like, I think she's at least 18 now. So yeah, she hadn't been a baby for quite a while.
So yeah, we just thought that was like typical of babies to not look at us that much. And the number 3 would be, I'm trying to think. It was a long time ago, like 4 years ago. I guess he started stimming. Like he would do this thing where he shakes his head.
I don't know if it's a thing, but like maybe it should have been a sign that he like was really, really, really bad at sleeping.
Oh yeah, he was super fussy.
Like really, really bad. Like Jacob was up every 2 hours for like the first like at least 6 months of his life.
Yeah. Come on.
I'm saying like, well, he had done a stretch at least past 2 hours after 6 months. Right? Yeah. But like prior to that, he wouldn't sleep more than 2 hours. Like that was just it.
I would say like, sorry, my phone just went off. Hi Whitney.
Yeah, people told us the same thing, that boys talk late, but like later than girls. Not.
Don't listen to that. I think it's all load of crap.
It is. It can be true. It can be true. Like later than girls, but like.
I think that if you are hesitating and you're thinking something's up, then it's better to just get checked out
and have like a peace of mind.
Yeah, as well. Like we waited so long and we were so worried for so long, and I don't think we should have done that. Like we were worrying too
because
much.
We had the 2 people saying like, get checked or just wait. We should have listened straight away to the just check people, which we had put it off.
Lucky us, but I don't get out, so I'll be in lockdown with you. You don't get out?
We don't go anywhere.
We don't really.
Don't go anywhere.
Trust your gut. If something feels off, you need to get it checked. Yeah. 100%. Don't listen to, and if you don't feel comfortable with what the professional has said, get a second opinion. Yeah. That's what we did.
Yeah.
And we were right.
The person at the medical center or whatever, he said...
Pediatrician.
Was it pediatrician? The one in Leichhardt? Yeah. And they were like...
He pretty much put it on us. What? He's like, you're not...
you're not making him talk.
Yeah, you're not making him talk. You're
giving him everything that he needs. So, like, if you've got everything you need, why would you talk? There's no reason to try harder. So, like, don't give him everything straight away. Don't, like, let him, like, struggle a little bit. Don't just baby him as much. It's like, well, he's a baby. It's like, what?
I think back to that conversation, and I really think, like...
Yeah, I wish I could go back into my own skin and be like, you know, like the butterfly effect. Just go back there and be like, look, guy. Look, guy. Hey, by the way.
But in that moment, you're like...
You listen, because they're the medical professional,
he's a pediatrician. He's gone to that school and done all of the education, and you think, you know...
that they know best, but sometimes... I
actually think about that conversation right now. I haven't thought about that in a while, and I'm actually very furious.
But in saying that, though, they're not around the child 24 hours. Like, they're only getting, like, a snippet of them being in a room. So you can't judge too quickly either.
That first appointment that I had with him, I think you weren't there for the first one.
I wasn't there for one of them, yeah.
Jacob literally was screaming, crying. the pediatrician had to sit on the floor even just to have some kind of interaction with Jacob. Jacob was just like running around, like trying to get out. He would not go near this person, and you know, that should have been like red flags to this doctor, but you know, wasn't. Did they suggest getting genetic testing done? We just found out our son is autistic. They suggested genetic testing since his uncle has autism too. Yes, so Jacob has had genetic testing done and came back with nothing. I guess no abnormalities, if that's the word to say. Jacob has family members who have autism, so yeah, I don't know what to think about genetics and all of that. We don't know enough, so
yeah,
I think if the professionals haven't found anything to prove that, then I don't think.
But it may be in the future proven.
It may be.
But currently, there's no like solid proof that it is genetic. But there have been signs that it's possible to be genetic because there are families that have like.
Yeah, but could that just be
coincidence? I don't know. It's not coincidence. I think when there's like so many, I think that there's a chance that it's genetic. But like, as you said, if it's not proven, it's not proven. But who knows?
Do you know if stem cell therapy works? Have you heard of stem cell therapy?
I think so, a while ago.
So stem cell therapy is, I think, I don't know 100% sure about it, but I've heard of kids getting it done and they claim that it sort of lessens their symptoms of autism, signs of autism. I don't really like believe in the whole like curing autism thing, because I think autism is just a part of the person. It's the way that their brain functions. Like, I don't know. I don't want to comment too much on that because I think that it's a bit of a sore spot for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's complicated and complex. It's like
a lot of autistic people say that they like get offended by people saying that they want to cure autism because autism is a part of them.
Yeah, but it affects everybody differently. So for some people, it may affect them that like some form of medication may make them feel better. And it may suppress some things. But then in other people's instances, they might like the way they are and it's not really affecting them in a bad way too much or something. So they're happy and proud to be the way that they are, and so they should be.
Yeah. My son is autistic and I was diagnosed last month. Oh, I didn't know that, Whitney.
Yeah. Jess is laughing because...
No, I'm not laughing.
I contemplated... I am contemplating eventually getting a test done for myself. Because it does make you question if your child has it, that maybe...
You have it.
If you do.
I think that...
Makes you rethink it, reevaluate.
I think that you just, like, going through all the diagnosis process and everything like that, you just pick up on more things and more traits that you didn't know were related to autism, and then you're like, hold on. Like, it makes you sort of... You're watching yourself.
Yeah.
Makes you sort of reevaluate your, you know, neurodiversity. I even like, you know, I don't like to use the phrase like I feel like I have a few like signs of autism, but you know, there's some things that I've gone, hold on, am I like showing signs here myself? Has anyone else had that like evaluation of themselves? I'm gonna go on to the next question.
It's worth it. It was worth it. I feel validated in how I experienced life.
I think you know, it's ultimately your decision on whether you want to do it or not. But I think it's worthwhile finding out, you know, if you are or aren't. So
yeah.
How is sleep going? How are you going with the COVID restrictions? Sleep is actually like, knock on wood, where's the wood? I don't know.
No, don't say it's going a little bit better, because
that's when it goes downhill.
No, don't. Every time we get asked that night becomes bad. I hate that question. I hate that question.
But people want to know because that's what we talk about a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is very common that we say on the live, like, oh yeah, things are starting to look up, and then that night just becomes like, no one sleeps.
So pretty much both kids slept through last night. Jazz woke up once at 3 o'clock, but, you know, the other thing that I was thinking was that Jordan didn't work today. And, you know, he usually starts work very early in the morning.
They don't make any noise getting up for work, getting ready.
Yeah, so.
Coincidence?
Who knows?
Because I think as the kids are, like, somewhat rested, like the majority of their sleep's done, they both become very light sleepers when it comes closer to wake up time.
Yeah.
And just like a little from like
or
a door
your alarm.
Or like, yeah, or my alarm, even if it's like a little bit later, like if the alarm went off and they're like rustling around, I don't hear them get up when I leave. Sometimes you say like, oh, like, just after you left, they woke up. It's like, and they can probably hear the car as well in the driveway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I should park like further away. Should sleep in the garage.
just don't exist in our house.
Just don't be here when I'm working. Just live in the other house, which we don't have.
Whitney, I was going to ask you, how did you go about getting diagnosed as an adult? Because I wouldn't know how to do
How the process is, yeah.
What things does Jacob like to eat? He just demolished some tuna before he left.
Yeah, he's a picky eater, but he eats
a lot.
No, but he eats like foods that are like intense. Like he likes Vegemite. He likes tuna. Like the regular kid doesn't.
Tangy, like mandarin.
Yeah, he likes intense things.
Tuna. He likes maybe just like
nutritional yeast. He eats nutritional yeast straight.
Yeah, I think he's just like, I think it's like, again, a sensory thing.
But they're like things that you think he wouldn't like, right? Like.
Yeah, but if you get what I'm saying, it's not like a taste thing, it's like a sensory thing. So for example, like he may like, you know, the movement of a swing, and it might benefit his body and regulate his body, and these tastes might regulate him as well.
Yeah.
Like as another sense.
Yeah, but I think even if you think your kid's a fussy eater, it's always worth putting whatever it is that either they don't eat or they haven't tried, just putting it on their plate, just like away from the rest of the food, just to, you never know, they might just surprise you and eat whatever it is. Like
a salad sandwich yesterday. Yeah, Jacob ate a salad sandwich.
Jacob came up and just bit a salad sandwich from Jess's hand, and we're like,
I was like, yeah, have it.
Just take it. But
and he ate like half of it.
Half a half.
He has been very hungry lately. I think he's growing a lot, but he's just been very hungry and constantly wanting to eat food. And again, I don't know whether it's a sensory thing or he's just seeking, like he likes crunchy foods like chips and things like that too. But he just came up and ate it, like beetroot, tomato.
And he likes these veggie sausages that are like, the texture's kind of like Play-Doh-y.
Yeah.
But he likes them. Yeah. Like, so.
I've heard of a lot of autistic kids liking like hot dogs and things like that. So I think it's probably a safe food. She saw a psychologist. She interviewed me several times, interviewed my mum because she knew me when I was young and looked at the DSM-5 criteria. Did you have to pay for it? I'd love to know.
I'm guessing different places are different.
Yeah, but
is she from New South Wales?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know where you're from, Whitney. Australia, but not New South Wales. Be interesting to know. Wouldn't you be interested to know? Would you guys be interested in Jordan taking you along on that journey? Oh, but you don't want to.
No, I wouldn't mind. I don't know how the process is. Like, how do they know?
They do an assessment.
Yeah, I know, but
like they did with Jacob, but it's an adult version.
Yeah, but what are they gonna get? Like, what if I don't show it? Like, you know, like how are they gonna get it in such a short amount of time? Like, what's going on in my head? Like,
oh, Whitney, you're not from Australia. Why did I think you were from Australia?
Pennsylvania.
When I saw Medicaid, I was like, hold on. I didn't. Sorry. I should have known that. I just.
My little guy loves Weet-Bix without milk, and he loves chips. I make them in the air fryer. Oh, I always wanted to try the air fryer.
We should get one.
So many people brag about it, and I'm like, I want to know how good it is, but I don't want to just buy one and then I don't like it or use it. Like, I want to try someone's first.
Yeah. I think
apparently it's really good for even like things that are already fried to like revamp them back to life. So like if you've got like some cold chips from like some takeout or whatever, and you know how cold chips are just like, if you put them in the air fryer, they're like bang, really good again.
Yeah.
I'd like to
we should try it. I wonder if someone we don't know many people around here. We don't get out very often. So.
Jackson was contemplating it. And he's like, oh no, it's unnecessary.
I had some other questions.
I think it might be one of those things that like you're fine without it, but once you have it, you love it and you need it. It's like, no, I need to have my air fryer.
Someone said, do either of you have any neurological conditions or suspect that you have?
Suspect.
Yeah, I think you can never really know unless you're an expert. But
oh, that's a nice one. How are you? That's a simple and good one.
Whitney said she interviewed me about 6 one-hour sessions, but all psychologists are different. The process for adults is tricky because we've learned how to mask our traits.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
Yeah, that's why I thought it can't be like Jacob's.
Well, no, it would be an adult version because they just play. Like you.
Yeah, no, but like when you're a child, like you're not very like, especially the age Jacob got diagnosed. You're not very good at like hiding stuff. Like he wouldn't be able to hide. No, Jacob's an open book. he wouldn't hide his stim, but like she's not going to see me flicking my toes and like or
because you've learned to not do that when you're in the comfort of your home. I don't know if you do it actually. It's in a shoe, so I guess it's not gonna.
No one's gonna know.
You also do that ear thingy that I think that is something. But anyway, how are you?
Good. I'm happy because like, yeah, I find that the kids are really
Don't cute, say that, you're gonna jinx it.
Cute and like easier to contain. Like once kids like I'm saying, in comparison to like they're gonna get bigger and like they're gonna get stronger and they're gonna get harder to carry and they're gonna get. I feel like things.
Well, hopefully, we don't have to carry them for too much longer.
I don't know if as kids get older, does it get easier or harder?
I think it gets different. A lot of people say it's like different. Like a different type of hard.
I heard a saying that said, little kids, little problems. Big kids.
Well, I can imagine like Jazz is a very like confident, very strong-willed kid, and I think that in her teenage years that's gonna be fun.
I am looking forward to Jazz being able to understand Jacob better.
Yes.
So then she knows that, like, look, if Jacob's, like, on the swing, don't try and fight for the swing. Just let him have it because, like, he...
Well, not... you know, he should learn how to do that. But I think more often, like, it's just, like, when she... Like, when he pushes her away and she wants to go near him and he wants his space.
And she wants to cuddle or something. At least she'll know, okay, like, don't do it right now.
Give him his space.
Yeah, like, she'll...
Sometimes he does want to cuddle and he gives her a cuddle.
Yeah, but, like, she'll know... She'll have a better idea of when to approach and when to back up.
Yeah. Hi, Katie.
Hey, guys!
They used the AEST too with our son. That was a bit more of a personal and less standardized. We did the AEST. I think it was the AEST. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. So that's how we are. We're also in lockdown, so we're like stuck for things to do. And I think Jacob's starting to realize that we're in lockdown as well. How do you keep the sparks flying?
Sparklers.
To be honest, it's a struggle just with the way that our lives run, where like we don't have too many people that will come and watch our kids or we have a date night. Like we, especially now, all our family's in lockdown for like 2 months. We haven't had the chance to... Actually, no, I'm wrong. Last week we went to a movie.
Yeah, as the lockdown got announced, we got a message saying,
yeah,
welcome to lockdown life.
We, like, usually I take the Thursday and Friday to work, so we don't, like, sometimes we eat lunch together and stuff like that, but, yeah, I think most of our, like, it's hard for me to say this, like, the sparks flying, it's, like, not a reality.
Yeah, like, we remind each other regularly that we love each other and, like, that there's no one else that we'd rather be going through this with than each other.
Teamwork.
Yeah, and if anything, that can probably, like, increase the bond. Like, when I see, like, that Jess is, like, trying so hard, like, that just makes me love her more.
Aww.
Oh, I didn't want to say it. It sounded corny in my head. I'm like going, oh, yeah. So
I hear so many parents
try to hide their child's autism, but I think acceptance is the most important, and Whitney agrees.
I've received many messages from people asking me, how do I stop my son from flapping? How do I stop him from doing that in public? And I'm just like...
You want to let them do what feels good. If they want to stim, I reckon stim. It's going to make them feel better. And you know what? The biggest thing, I think, instead of hiding, just try... Look, I think anyway, don't give a...
Yeah.
Can I say?
Yeah, you can swear.
Don't give a shit. Just like screw them. Who cares?
Yeah, but they're agreeing with us. They're like, I think it does come with acceptance and it does come with education and like they need to obviously find out about being accepting of autism in their own way. It's hard when you first get a diagnosis.
Yeah, it's hard at the start, but eventually you just go, I don't care what people think. Yeah. As time passes, the more time passes, the more you go, who's this guy? I'm never going to see this woman or guy or old lady again. Like, I don't care if they stare. Who cares? I don't know this person. I don't care.
What matters is that my son is happy.
Yeah.
And he's flapping and I don't give a shit. Like, I really don't.
Take care of family.
I often, like, sit there in public and watch Jacob if he's, like, at the beach or he's, like, just so happy in his happy place, flapping the water, making the noises that he makes. Yes, they're not what typical people would make the noises.
But he's happy.
He's so happy, and that makes me happy. Yeah. But you see the people staring. You see them wondering what's going on, or you see them frowning, and it's just like, yes.
But it does take time to get used to that, because like once he had the diagnosis, you go through these thoughts and these things that go through your head that just like, oh, I had this like envision in my head of like how my future's going to be, how my child's going to be.
Yeah.
You know what? You just learn to go, look, let's just, it is the way that it is, and let's be happy.
Yeah.
Because life's too short to be unhappy about things. Just be happy.
And it's very...
That's your kid.
That's the epitome of acceptance.
And you know what that kid needs?
Yeah.
Love. Screw everyone else.
But
your kid needs love. That's it.
You know, I do think of those children whose parents are very much in the mind of, we need to cure it, or we need to stop his stimming. I think, you know, you can never really stop a child stimming, because they're just going to come out with something else. Like, he may stop the flapping, but he may, you know, tap his foot or
bang a wall.
Like, you can't suppress that, because it's a need. And like, it's like you and I breathing, like it's a need. But like
you could probably pass it off to something that's a bit more like less stressful for yourself, possibly, like saying like if it's like gonna ruin your walls, or like something that's like destructive, then I can understand like trying to, or if it's hurting them, if it's inflicting them, like if they're banging their head or something, I can understand wanting to stop something like that. That's the only time that I can say that stimming should be redirected onto something that's not going to inflict harm. Like
and we've done that before.
Yeah, but like Jacob, sometimes he jumps from like really high up, and it can possibly be dangerous. But you know what? He's good at it. Like,
he's got incredible balance.
He's very
But the thing is Jacob used to bang his head on the wall, and yes, that was not helping him. It was harming him. We didn't like stop him from doing it. I would just redirect him. So I would put him on his bed, and he would continue to do that on his bed. Not with the walls, on his bed. So it's like a safer, way for him to do that without hurting himself.
I think the destructive ones generally come more so when they're unhappy. So if you can find other ways to get them to stim, those things possibly won't happen, like the head banging and the wall banging and stuff like that.
Sensory
if you have sensory toys, if you have like squishy gooey stuff and like a trampoline and a swing, and you're getting those like sensory needs met, they won't. There's a chance that they won't either do it as much or do it at all.
They regulate themselves.
Yeah, because like
we've literally decked out Jacob's room, and it's only like he's so happy, and it's just him. It's his bedroom.
Yeah,
I should read these comments.
Yeah, we got the one that said, even though Jacob has autism, do you plan on having more kids? That was the next one, and
wait, say that again. Where is that?
Here.
You're missing a few. They've lifted the mask mandate here, so imagine a lockdown is on the horizon for us. Our hospitals are full here, seeing patients in a tent.
Where's that? Is that the South Australia? No.
Not sure.
And
yeah.
What about you plan on having more kids?
You know what? Never say never, but at the moment
we don't have help.
No.
we're on our own. It'd be different if we had some form of help, but we're by ourselves.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't mean that we're not clucky, because we definitely are. We're just brought back to reality when we think about everything that we need to do.
Like I'd love for Jazz and Jacob to have like another little sibling, but the reality is where
bring us down back to reality.
Where it would be in and over our heads. Like there's just us two. It'd be different if we had like grandma and grandpa across the road, or a sister or a brother that was nearby. We've got no one. So
stopping a child from stimming is very wrong. Yes,
not a good idea.
People should think about autism being no different than anything else. No child should grow up thinking that being a dulled version of themselves is the best version. Very correct. Hi, Danny. Is there any tips you can give for parents dealing with non-verbal children and how to manage their meltdowns brought on by not being able to express what they want? So I think, to me, looking at that sentence, I just think it's not about managing a meltdown. It's just supporting a meltdown. So I think 100% you just need to be there for them. The meltdown is going to happen if they're already escalated to that point.
They forget if they're too far in, they forget what they're actually unhappy about, and you're not gonna.
Generally, it's like, yeah, that's a meltdown. It's like, it's not for a reason.
Yeah, there's no going back. The meltdown's happening, but
so you just need to support them. You can't stop it. So just be out of that mindset of I need to stop them crying. I need to stop them, because they're feeling their feelings and they're in sensory overload.
I think the best way is to bring them to their happy place. So even though Jacob would still be screaming and stuff, you'll try and either, if it's really bad, like hold him and just going for a walk outside, just going around the block. Sometimes they can be even hard to hold because they're like struggling or whatever. So if it's unsafe, obviously don't go near the road. But like, if you can manage to get them into a pram or just like a drive, or like if you can a drive or a pram ride, or like even just going in the backyard, just like out into nature.
Only if they want to.
Yeah,
because like sometimes they just don't want to be touched. They don't want to be moved. The way that Jacob's therapist recommended was just like finding his favorite things and putting them out in front of him,
and just having access to it.
So he has access.
Yeah, like if they like a dummy, or if they want
sensory toy, something like that.
But like, yeah, sometimes when it's too far gone, like nothing's gonna help. They'll see an ice block and just throw it. Like they don't. Yeah. So it's just a matter of like maybe trying to wait it out, and
also like not pushing things on them. So like don't like force an ice block into his mouth or anything like that, because in that moment he's seeing very like not very much at all, and if you impose something on him, he's just
might make it worse. If you shove too much to the face, it can actually make it worse and longer. But I still think it's worth a shot for everyone to try. If your kid's having a meltdown, just try that video, Baby Stop Crying. Like, I know I mention it way too much, but if you haven't given it a try, it's actually really worth a shot, because
it's a nice song.
When Jacob was little and having tantrums, it was literally the only thing that would work, and it worked for him. It might not work for your child,
but it might not work for meltdowns either.
But it's worth a shot, right? So put it on the TV and just try, I guess. That's a personal opinion. Give it a shot.
Yeah.
What do you have to lose? Putting like a thing on the TV with these balls going like this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just some calming music.
I was just reading the rest of your question, and just in regards to like not being able to express what they want, we've sort of grown a little bit with Jacob and his communication needs. He used to be frustrated multiple times a day, meltdowns multiple times a day, because he couldn't communicate what he wanted. We brought in an AAC device, and we also brought in we didn't bring it in, but we learnt more about the body language and what he wanted, kind of thing. So we've kind of grown with that, and now we can understand what he needs, and most of the time we can understand what he wants. So yeah, I think just learning to communicate with them in a way that they can communicate with you.
Hi, Danny. Is there any tips?
We've already read that.
Right. I am autism and do not have friends.
Does he have friends? Is it does he have friends?
I think he's trying to say he doesn't have friends.
Are you sure?
Do
he have friends?
Does Jacob have friends? Well, if you don't have friends, I'm sorry. And Jacob. So sometimes, like, well, Jacob is a lot of a lone wolf, but
he's got a lot of kids at school that love him.
Yeah, he goes to a really nice school that the kids are very friendly.
he comes home, like, he's had a couple of times where he's come home with a picture that
the other kids have drawn for him,
which is really sweet.
Um,
my son likes his weighted blanket sometimes when he's having a meltdown. Yes, I've heard that's really good.
For some. Jacob didn't like it at first.
We have a weighted blanket, but it works. I've actually been putting it on him for sleep, and I think it's been helping keep him sleeping. During summer, it doesn't help because he doesn't like anything on him. But during winter,
yeah, Jacob's a very hot. Like, he gets hot very easily.
Distraction is key for my daughter to calm meltdowns.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, it's you really just have to find what works for you. It's different for everyone. Just like my way of calming down is very different to the way that Jordan likes to calm down. So I know how you guys feel not having help or family, friends nearby. Me and my partner are on our own as well. New to your channel, you guys are amazing. Oh, thank you, Catherine. Yeah, so we 2.5 years ago, we moved 2 hours away from our family. This was before we knew Jacob had autism. And we moved basically for a easier life, less expensive house, and just more access to beach and park and less traffic and things like that.
Yeah, instead of having a 1-bedroom apartment, we've got a house.
Yeah, we've got a house, and we live near the beach, and all the things that we love. So yes, I feel for you, Catherine. It's very hard being away from family.
Any tips for traveling with your littles, airplanes and road trips? I reckon, as far as road trips go, airplane.
We don't know.
I don't want to know.
We've never been on an airplane.
Airplane sounds a bit too long and scary, but anything past, Jacob can make it the 2 hours almost, 15 minutes to go, and he might start to be a bit upset with it. But if your child naps, save the nap for the road.
Or nighttime driving.
Yeah, either nighttime drive or save the nap for when it's road trip time. Save lunch for being in the car so that they're distracted and eating whilst on the road.
Yeah.
So that takes up some of their time whilst you're driving. And toys that they like, load the car up. And if they like the iPad, obviously you don't want it for the whole time. Jacob doesn't really like it. He kind of likes this game that's on it. He might play it for a little bit, but he gets bored pretty quickly. Jacob
has kind of grown, and I think it's because we've done a lot of road trips back to our family and back. At the beginning, they used to be horrendous. He used to not like the car and all of that, but now I think he enjoys the car because he knows we're going somewhere, and he likes going somewhere. He likes looking out the window. I often just watch him just staring out the window, and I think he likes that motion now.
Yeah, and they might like the window open. It's worth giving a shot as well. Obviously, have them buckled in well, but
stop and get some chippies from Macca's. That really helps.
Yeah, that's a bit of a distraction. Yeah,
it's kind of like a halfway point for us, and it helps to just keep him going for that extra hour.
and the cards that you have up your sleeve, don't necessarily give them to them straight away.
Yeah.
So start the drive if they're sweet, and then if you're an hour in and they start getting a bit and fussing or whatever, that's when you start taking out the things from your sleeve. Don't be giving them lunch as soon as you get in the car. Don't be giving them try to keep them up a bit if they seem like they're tired. Try and push everything as far back as you can, and then when there's a bit of they're getting a bit bored, pull out the iPad. They're getting a bit bored, pull out the toys. Just
do you guys
push
have
everything
any
back.
Tips for airplanes? Because I'd love to know. We don't
have see ourselves flying anytime soon, especially with what going on.
It'd be good to be prepared. A lot of parents end up making their child more overstimulated during a meltdown than calming them down. Yes. So I think when Jacob first started out having meltdowns, we used to try and be with him, hug him. We used to try and force things on, not force things, but give him things and ice blocks and try and like
I think
impose too much on him.
We pushed too much with too many things to try and calm him down instead of just like
he was
waiting for it to pass.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's a good 30 minutes that he's just seeing red. But I think as time's gone on, they've become less and less, and
we know the triggers. So
I think the better you get to know your child's needs, with time, it may seem dark and gloom right now and really hard, but the more you figure out like little tricks and what they like, the more of a handle that you'll get on what they want and need, even if they don't talk. Jacob doesn't speak, and we know a lot of the time what he wants without him saying anything. That'll just come naturally over time, I think.
And I think that strategy of like just putting things in front of them, you can even do it like a meter away from them, just putting some things, options for them if they want to take that. And that's his decision if he wants to take an ice block, and his decision if he wants to take a dummy. And it's not imposed on him. There's a lot about control with Jacob. So like, especially I've noticed with swings, Jacob really doesn't like when I push him too much on the swing, the sensory swing.
Right.
He likes to have his feet on the ground and can have control over what's happening. Sometimes he gets a bit frustrated when he loses control on things.
Yeah, that sensory swing, like I wish we had it like
from day one.
From day one. I don't know. You've posted a video on the swing, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's in our description if you want to check it out.
I was very hesitant on the swing because like I'm like, oh, like what if he hurts himself? Like what if what if we don't want this thing? What if he doesn't like it? Like there was so many like, you know what? I regret my decision. Like he loves it. He's happy. Jazz loves it, and it didn't really cost much at all, and he's just like super happy with it. Like it was, hats off to Jess because she like got it even though like I kind of said
no.
I pretty much said no.
Yeah.
And she did it anyway. She booked it in, and I ate my words. She was right. Like definitely one of the best buys. And so was the trampoline, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was me. That was me.
Claim that one.
Yeah, I'll claim that one. Nice safety trampoline.
Does he ride a school bus? No. So Jacob's in preschool and we take him to preschool. Thank you.
That was for the tips on something.
Okay. My little guy has an autism sensory peapod that he uses a lot of sensory time. I recommend it. Yeah. So we have one of those too. We have a link in our description to one if you guys want to check it out. Yeah. I think now that he's got the swing, he's kind of like favoring the swing, but he will go back to that peapod. He was
that's great. That's a good one too.
It's a good regulation tool. When he's upset and stuff, he goes into it.
He uses it like a little cocoon. Compression. You know, like he likes the feeling.
Yeah, sure. And that's why he likes the sensory swing too. When my son melts down, we give him space and put balls in front of him. It's what he loves. We're finding this frustration of lack of understanding his communication difficult, but I know it's harder on him. Yeah, and also I just reminded myself, I was going to say this before, was we've noticed that if we stop talking, that's helping Jacob. Like speaking to Jacob just is not, like when he's having a meltdown, it doesn't help. It even just like sound to him is a lot. So like if we're talking while he's having a meltdown, you know, he's not going to pick up anything anyway because he's having a sensory overload. So having that extra sound is just going to keep escalating him. Yeah,
one of the causes of a meltdown that happened for Jacob was we were at like a barbecue and there were too many people that he didn't know, not somewhere that it wasn't home, it wasn't somewhere that he was super familiar with, it was his auntie's place that he's only been to a couple times. And I took him out for a walk to the park and he chilled straight out.
Yeah.
As soon as we went back, the meltdown started again.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's sad, but it's
just the way he likes
it's
it.
not no, but it's not worth trying to stick around. Like, if anything, if you're with family, like it's a family gathering or something, we've had it that like people have had cycles of taking turns of just like taking Jacob for like a walk to the park or around the block, and then like he loves his pram, so like I went, then my auntie went, then my cousin went, and everyone just like, because there was just too many people.
Yeah.
Like Jacob can handle a handful of people, but like when it's like Christmas or Easter and there's too many, it's just too much.
He just wants to leave.
He just wants to leave, and you know what? He
has every right to. Like, if that's not how it's he's not feeling good.
Well with it, and like he may adapt over time. So maybe just like giving him some time, and then like going for that walk, and then like giving him some time, but not leaving him there feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah, we often try and keep him just because it is a Christmas function or something's going on, and we want to stay to be with family. There's a lot of disappointment around me taking Jacob away.
Yeah, and maybe also like at the start,
smaller gatherings as well, I think is a good one.
Yeah, like, or even just like explaining even individually to family members, to like, especially the loud ones, be like, just explain to them one-on-one that if you can, whilst Jacob's around, just try not to be so excited and so intense. Just try and things are intense for him. So like,
it's hard because we go for long periods without seeing family, and so when they see the kids,
they get very excited, and he gets could be kind of scared or overwhelmed, and just like giving him like, hey, if you want to see him, like approach him like one at a time or something. Don't like, or just go, oh, Jacob's here. You know,
Jacob, when we go to like, he knows people's houses now that we go to in Sydney, but when we go there, he'll go to like the garden, or like he'll just go away for a bit, and just letting him adjust to that environment, and then he will actively seek people out, and he'll go up to, you know, relatives and things. It's just he needs that time to like transition.
Yeah, and not just to be bombarded by a whole like, especially when it's a grandkid or like or something like that. They're all very.
I think
and they know now. They know now. They know how he is and how he likes to be treated.
Yeah. He had meltdowns, but I just explained to the people around us. They were very understanding. Oh, wait, sorry. I took our son on the airplane twice. It was challenging. He didn't like being confined to his seat. We had a bag of tricks that helped. A stroller helped too, because our son escapes. A stroller would be fantastic.
What, on the plane?
Yeah. You could probably get like a small one that folds up.
Yeah, or even like the stroller.
Because if that's going to help him stay put.
Yeah,
I mean, I can imagine actually Jacob.
What I meant, the stroller.
I can imagine Jacob getting very confined and trying to escape, but there's no escape that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of not keen on getting on a plane anytime soon with Jacob.
I don't think we can.
But if we did, I'd really try and not go too far, especially for the first time, and also like try to fly at sleep time.
Yeah. Because
you'll eventually at some stage you're like, oh, he's gonna fall asleep at some stage. If we leave at like 7, if we leave at like his bedtime, like
give him some melatonin.
Yeah, and try to keep them up. Like if anything, I'd probably try and leave. Like Jacob's bedtime's like 7. I'd probably try and leave at like 8, 9 o'clock and just try and keep him up. So you might get a slightly bigger sleep as well.
Well, he's got melatonin that sends him sleep.
It helps him like regulate to get to sleep.
Well, my little guy, his is having a meltdown at home. I turn on soft calming music. That's a good idea. That's the song that you put on.
Well, there's that, or there's like sometimes we just type in like meditation music, and like
rainforest.
Typing like rainforest, or like there's ones where it's just it's like waterfalls and like it's just like nature sounds as well.
It's calming for me.
Yeah, it's actually really
actually
chill.
calms us down enough to just be there for Jacob. Like often in that moment you're stressed, and I know in the beginning as well you're like worried about. Is that Bella or your mom?
Learning how to interact. Thank you.
Is that your mom or Bella?
That's Isabella.
Because I know your mom goes on her.
When my little guy is having a meltdown at home, okay, sorry, my bad. Alright, well, I think
we might finish that now. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's always really fun just like talking in real time to you guys, because replying to comments isn't a conversation really.
Yeah, it's still nice, and we like it, and we get a lot of really nice comments. We get some pretty not so nice comments as well from...
That's to be expected.
Some people.
Shouldn't be expected, but it is.
But the majority are very nice, and we get a lot of praises that feel really nice, and thanks and stuff. So definitely the pros outweigh any hate. So
it's both of them.
Peace and love.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.